My name's Colin. I work in international business, and I've had solar, I think, 5 or 6 years now. Well, this goes back even further, back when ES was Energy Solutions and doing insulation installs in your attic. So basically, some guy knocked on the door and said, "Hey, we want to, check your insulation if you need more." And I live in an older house built in the 70s. Said, "If you need more insulation, we'll go ahead and do it, and then you just sign over your tax rebate to us, so it's nothing out of pocket." And I thought, well, can't go wrong with that. And so I went ahead and did it and had a great experience, and it was just so hassle-free. And I want to say a couple years after that is when ES Solar really started focusing on the solar market. And they came by and said, "Hey, we did your insulation in the past. We'd like to talk to you about solar." And I said, "Well, I had a great experience. Let's talk." So we sat down and talked, and one of the things I liked the best was that it didn't feel like a hard sales presentation. I believe it was an engineering student who was my actual representative, and he just kind of laid it out and explained everything to me, and it didn't feel like a high pressure or that I was pushed to do anything, and I appreciated it, and I went with it. I think the best experience I've had is I had some issues with my breaker box in the back where I had an old breaker that wasn't functioning properly, and it caused my system to go down, and I didn't notice. And I actually got a text from ES Solar saying, "Hey, we noticed your system's not working. You want us to come check it out?" And I had no idea. And so obviously I said yes and had them come out, and we figured out the problem, and it was really on my end. But I appreciated that they were actually monitoring and looking at my system and letting me know when there were issues, because I hadn't kept up with it. I've got the app, I look at that periodically, but I didn't know my system wasn't generating, and this was in the summertime, at peak hours too. So I was really happy that they let me know. Yes, they have. Yeah, they did everything they said they could do. One thing I really liked was that they didn't try to oversell me on panels. I provided my bills and my energy usage, and they calculated how much I would actually need, how many panels I would actually need, and then they actually did a panel or two less than that, and then provided me with some LED options to reduce my power usage. So instead of selling me more panels, they found a way to help me reduce my power usage, and which I appreciated, because I felt like if they were going to be dishonest, they would have tried to oversell me on those panels. Instead, they were trying to give me just what I needed. Battery is definitely the way to go. I've noticed when there are power outages, it's kind of opposite of what you'd think, but you can't continue to use your solar panels during a power outage. The grid actually turns you off, so that if a lineman or somebody's working on power, they don't get electrocuted from your system. And so I didn't know that when I was first thinking about solar panels. They explained it to me as I was in the process. But so there, I had the power go out a couple weeks ago, and my solar panels didn't do me a bit of good during that power outage. And so I'm really looking at getting a battery backup that I know I'll have power in emergency situations, because the grid is getting more overtaxed. There are brownouts and blackouts all the time, and it's a pretty common occurrence no matter where you live. And so I want to be prepared for an emergency. I just felt like that energy costs were going to continue to go up, and this would kind of help offset those energy costs. And I've heard it helps a bit on the perceived value of your home when you have solar panels on it as well. And I want to help the environment too, and do my part where it makes sense. And so I think a combination of those things and the tax rebates are what helped me make the decision. Absolutely. Anytime I've seen on social media or anything, people looking at getting solar, asking about the experience, I've always pitched ES Solar and told people all about it, because I just had a great experience. And I'm not big on hard sales tactics. They really put me off, and so I don't feel like that's the way it is. I feel like they give you the information and allow you to make the best decision you can, and I've had a great experience.